Oh yeah! Today's date is of course Thursday the 21st of October of 2021. Last time I did a video like this was back on January, I think. Thursday the 21st of January of 2021. That was quite similar day, and whenever I think of that date, I often think of it as the holy grail of our dates. And strangely enough, I often use this as a perfect day for vlogging. Not only that, but I often do that, you know. I don't know what I'm actually saying there, but it's perfect in a sense that I'm actually doing a very long looking vlog. Now I don't know how long this video will be though, but you'll find out once this video is uploaded though. But strangely enough, in this video I'm actually going to be covering maybe a few subjects though, and I'm actually going to be talking about in relationship to, you know, what can I really say though, really, eh? Of course I'm going to be covering about Club Penguin. I'm also going to be covering about some of the toys I look at on Flip Flop Day, but it's going to be all about the upcoming themes for late 2021 and also 2022 and so on. And then I've also got a third subject here, so I'm actually going to be covering at least around 3 subjects, and these subjects are all going to be all about Club Penguin, yes, some Flip Flop toys, you know, upcoming themes of Flip Flop toys in the very near future, and the Made in China syndrome. Obviously, why am I pretty much not surprised on hearing terms like Made in China? But you know what? Let's do it, because this video is gonna get amazing. Maybe it's not amazing, but we'll surely find out. Okay, the vlog has started. You know, obviously you've got to do vlogs though, and strangely enough, I've actually done quite a lot of vlogs from mid-July, August, September, and more recently October of 2021. Strangely enough, it feels like that the second half of 2021 we're actually getting a whole stack of vlogs though. Obviously, strangely enough though, and yes, it's quite amazing that I've been doing vlogs like this. I think I also did a tour review back on Sunday the 21st of February of 2021. In fact, I should actually bring back this conceptual, how do you say it, this sort of idea though for a video, that conceptual idea for a video like that though, making complex vlogs over and now again now. So yes, obviously it's quite amazing though that it's so nice though to go ahead and make these types of videos again, because, well, not only helps to bring back the whole momentum back again now, but it also sort of actually gets people heavily inspired as well though, which in a sense it's a very nice thing though. In fact, as I'm making this video though, although, you know, as I'm pretty much talking throughout the rest of this whole video though, obviously I think the sound's actually going to be a little bit more, how would you say it, behind there. So there's a very weird sound lag there with the whole video there. I think, you know, since for the fact it's a webcam there, I mean, obviously it's not the webcam's fault though, but it's definitely due to the internet connection there that we often have. I mean, the internet connection in my computer is very, very good, but the problem is that the webcam sort of doesn't do well in very good internet connections like so though, compared to like, you know, in fact it's a very common issue, it's a very common problem, and you know what I mean, it's like it just doesn't want to let you sort of want to make your video a little bit more properly done there, if you ask me, eh? Anyways, I need to jump cut though before I start to lose my throat and start coughing again. Hopefully it's not COVID. But anyways, I'm going to keep this video running around though, as possible as this sounds, and cover the 3 subjects, like, you know, Club Penguin, the upcoming Flip Flop toy themes, and also the Made in China syndrome, which strangely enough is going to be quite a bit of a very interesting sort of subject to talk about, because obviously I've actually been doing a bit of research about stuff made in China, and what's the pejoratives, and what's the real connotations, and what's the real truth behind Made in China though. It's very simple though. And strangely enough, hopefully that's going to help my channel to be active though, because sadly maybe my channel is busted though. Maybe my channel is a dead channel forever and ever. But you know what? Let's just keep on rolling now. as simple as this sounds. So anyways guys, let's move on and shake it on. Oh yeah. Subject 1. Club Penguin. Disney's Club Penguin. Ah yes, Club Penguin. Obviously the humdinger of all massively multiplayer video games in the whole world. I can't believe it. It is actually quite amazing though, thinking about it though. In fact, I've actually got quite a lot of products though. Remember I did my Penguin Club World themed toy reviews though, eh? That's where I got the influence though. And strangely enough, hopefully Disney isn't gonna sue me for this. And that is where, obviously, I called my toys, the Penguin Club World themed toys. This is a Halloween themed that toy though. Looks quite good, obviously. I don't know about you, but as the video progresses, I'm actually going to change my clothes though. Yes, we might shop and change to different subjects though. But yes, obviously the Penguin Club World themed toys that Flip has been producing, whenever I think about them, it's so nice. It's like a cool inspiration now whenever I think about the way the toys have been designed. And also makes people want to buy the toys, really, eh? And obviously the logo looks very similar to what the legitimate Club Penguin brand would be like there, eh? And yeah, obviously, although sadly Disney took it down when it shocked those millions still enjoying the game though, and when the whole game was all shut down by Disney though, which in a sense was a very, very, very sad thing though that all Club Penguin fans noticed so far, eh? The fandom never dies, but you know what? I think one of the best things about the Club Penguin franchise is that it just keeps on going on and on and on. Often the fandom never keeps on, well, I would just say it never keeps on stopping though, or it never wants to stop though, in the sense that it's actually getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Even though a lot of people from the other generation may never know about Club Penguin, it was one of the best things that you could ever do online though. In fact, it's quite amazing though, thinking about that one very simplistic game though. It's easily recognisable though. I mean, I'm saying the word simplistic, but it's actually quite a very complex sort of game though, because you can do like various things though, like you can adopt your pet puffles, you know, decorate your igloos, and you can even chat into friends. Yeah, obviously that's the most important feature though, chatting with your friends though, or with other Penguin players though. Playing mini games just to obtain coins and whatnot though, I suppose though. And I think one of the biggest bugbears so far though in Club Penguin is becoming a member, because obviously I used to remember that one moment that when I was about 10 years old, I used to go down to one of the local stores though, you know, I bought like a membership card though from Club Penguin, and there was a one moment you had to basically scratch the code in it though, which was hidden away, and then you have to type in the code, whatever was inside the card though, and all that stuff. And becoming a member overall though could also lead you to dressing up clothes. You can actually put clothes in your penguin though, since, you know, it's pretty much a good thing though, because, well, your penguin can be a bit quite naked though. You know, being a bit too like a bit too realistic like a real penguin though. Obviously the penguins are a little bit, you know, anthropomorphic though, so I mean there's nothing wrong with penguins without clothes though, but what can you say? It's not looking too bad whenever I think of penguins without clothes in Club Penguin. But what was very interesting about Club Penguin at that time was that it actually had a very weird taste of social media though. In a sense that you could chat to each other though, but obviously whenever I think of that game, you know what? I'm just sort of thinking theoretically, you just couldn't even chat into Club Penguin just in case you would be rude to each other though. I used to get banned, like, you know, once or twice in the game though for saying rude words though. That was really, really humiliating whenever I think about it, eh? But you know what? Club Penguin is Club Penguin, and the fandom will still live on no matter how the original game was being taken down by freaking Disney. But one of the positive things about Disney buying Club Penguin was that it actually made it even more popular. In a sense that, because of the spiking popularity of Club Penguin, which, in a sense that whenever I think about that game, spiking high, it really is totally amazing. And strangely enough, whenever I think about these very cute and very fluffy penguins, waddling around on their very frozen world. Obviously, that's how I can relate to some of the best things about that game, though. It was very, very simple. In fact, the times were very, very simple, though, especially to many Gen Z and Millennial type people. I bet the Alpha Generation type people won't really know about that one, though, because I got a funny feeling about you, eh? It really is quite amazing at times, playing that game, though. And obviously, when I was a young kid, I used to play this game endlessly sometimes, though. Like, 6 or 7 years old, though. That was about 6 or 7 years old, though. I used to play it, though, especially during the cold doldrums of winter time, though. When it was quite... even though the winter was quite mild, it was also quite a bit snowy as well. Same thing that I did when I was about, 7 or 8 years old. But I think the major hotspot was back in 2011 and 2012, where I actually played Club Penguin a lot, though. And there's one moment I can literally just play Club Penguin for, for ages, though. I can't believe it, though. It's quite amazing, though. I sort of pretty much played Club Penguin from the spring of 2011, though, to about, let's just say mid to late July of 2011, though, maybe August of 2011. And I sort of left the game though, but my account was still there after 1 year though, eh? 1 year later, in August 2012, strangely enough, my account was here. It was still there at that time though. It was called Redbird 888, because obviously at that time I had a huge obsession of Club Penguin and Angry Birds though, and as a bit of a general rule of thumb, if I grab my webcam, there's actually a poster right over there, in between these two Pokemon themed posters. That one there, which has got the wording of 2022, has got a picture of Angry Birds and Club Penguin mashed up together. Let me just go ahead and see the photo like so. It is actually quite amazing seeing that. And the way that this poster sort of looks like really represents my 10-year-old childhood memories though. And it's so amazing to look back into it though, because I can tell you what, our generations keep on changing forever and ever. And you know what? You know when generations change forever and ever, they never ever be forgotten. But what was very interesting about back in 2007 was that Disney brought the entire Club Penguin franchise into one mega franchise. In the sense that Disney bought everything relating to Club Penguin there, but there was actually another company called Sony, which in a sense that it was about to purchase Club Penguin Day, but what it did for Club Penguin was that it actually sponsored Club Penguin with a film called Surf's Up There. It was like another penguin thing film, and it was about like a surfing penguin day, obviously. I can't get into detail though, otherwise the video will get a bit too complicated and too convoluted though, eh? But yes, obviously at that time, back in the mid-2000s era though, you get like Happy Feet, Madagascar, and of course it serves up, penguins in Hollywood though, animated ones obviously, eh? So, what's your thoughts on penguin films or films in Hollywood though, featuring penguins though? Please do leave in the comments down below though on what you like and dislike or even hate about penguins in animation though. It's very, very simple. But yes, one other thing I could also relate to the fact that when Disney bought the whole entire franchise, it spawned a lot of toys, merchandise, and heck yeah, you can even have coins that had the ability to get you, it actually had some codes that are unlockable there, that you can pretty much win items from the game there, when you actually entered codes though, obviously. In fact, that was so much better though than getting like membership cards and things like that though. But yeah, it was actually quite, interesting at times though, and there were like books obviously and other pieces of other merchandise as well, clothes, all sorts of stuff. And I also think of music as well, and theme songs into it though too, even though Club Penguin used some generic soundtracks though. And actually a lot of the soundtracks though can be derived from who's that Canadian music composer there? Is it Chris Hendricks? If you know about him, you can actually go ahead and check out his channel right down in the link description down below though. Please check out Chris Hendricks' YouTube channel. It is amazing. he really does study about the music of Club Penguin, and it's super amazing thinking about it though, and it's so cool though. I don't know about you, but I'll have a look at at the overall history of Club Penguin now, because obviously I want to keep it into a very simplistic level there. I'm not going a bit too complex though. Otherwise, in a sense that it's going to be too complex for this video to be produced. To be actually produced in a very, very dedicated sort of fashion, in the sense that I'm doing it as a very nicely done video day, but I'm not always perfect, am I? But yes, not gonna lie though, Chris Hendricks' videos on YouTube really does explain why Club Penguin was such an amazing game though, in terms of how good the music was and how good did he compose the music for the game though, which in a sense, it's totally and utterly amazing though. And yeah, that's amazing though. And yes, as I said earlier again though, please go ahead and check out his link in the description below. Go ahead and check out his channel though, from the link in the description down below though. It's very simple. But anyways, although Club Penguin legitimately sadly got shut down by Disney, overall I think, if I remember, the game had a total of 31 million players there playing the game though, being one of the more popular sort of massively multiplayer sort of video games though, that I can easily remember though. Overall though, yes, Club Penguin got taken down by Disney and was completely, how would you say it, dysfunctional though, and it's sad, isn't it, eh? Although I did hear the creator of Club Penguin wanting it to return, but almost. Sadly, there's not much we can do really, I'm afraid, eh? But yes, I know it did got itself closed on the 29th of March or the 30th of March of 2017. That was the date when Club Penguin was sort of gone already though, which in a sense is heartbreaking whenever I think of it though. It's sad whenever you think about it, eh? Completely and utterly melancholy whenever I think about, after the death of Club Penguin being a very, very, how would you say it, awesome and very nostalgic video game, of course, eh? But without even sounding like a downer in a sense, eh, apart from the death of the original Club Penguin game from Disney though, I think what was also very important on that game was that you had moderators that, if you actually swore or said any words which were quite inappropriate though, or if you were caught cheating, there was a moderator though that you would have, you would have got banned from the game if you would have swore, or you would have also got kicked if you were breaking the rules though, like if you said any words though, like, gay. That's I mean, that does sound like a very, sort of an explicit word though, but not as explicit as I would actually think though. I can think of the word gay as happy though, in the 1950s sense of it, eh? Gay is in the 1950s, as in happy though, carefree and happy and joyful and all that stuff. But it's just, too obscene thinking about it though. And speaking of obscene, although the original Club Penguin game was taken down and shut itself down by Disney, there's actually been a lot of private servers though, online though. You get like Club Penguin Rewritten, CPPS, which are like the sort of Club Penguin private servers and whatnot though, eh? And you've also got the, what was that one though, that was actually waning in popularity though, during the recent lockdown from coronavirus, which led to numerous amount of players though, chatting online though. In fact, it was called Club Penguin Online. Okay? At that part though, at that private server though, there was like a BBC News report though, which talked about the game sort of being, obviously that was that version though, that was taken out by Disney though, because of the abhorrent behaviour though. Like, I've actually seen that one moment though, which in a sense, in a very obscene way, and a very, very cringy way though, I've even heard about this news report though, which in a sense, it actually is quite offensive though, thinking about it though, because obviously, I did notice that, obviously I did see some sort of player, playing as a penguin though, pretty much spelling out the N-word in chairs, which in a sense, it's absolutely racist though, but yeah. Obviously, society can go wrong at any time, but obviously that was the part that would have obviously made the game. Of course, the game is gone though, obviously, that. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the overall history of Club Penguin whenever I think about it, And I actually heard that when the people of Club Penguin were starting to produce this one massive game that we all used to know and love in heaven, obviously, it was one game that we all loved and blessed so much, I suppose, But Club Penguin originally started as a Snow Blasters sort of video game. It's like one of those sort of games. It was originally like some sort of snowball fighting sort of video game. Like you still have to flick snowballs at one penguin and another, and you can sort of play as a penguin, and you have to pretty much battle against one penguin and another, and all that stuff, And that idea came from a late 90s conceptual art design from someone I don't know, but it actually features a picture of penguins in a colony, though, obviously, speaking to each other, though, or speaking with some sort of humanic language, like English. Humanic being the language of being used by humans, obviously, It's like the penguins are anthropomorphized, and yes, as the overall idea of penguins chatting to each other was much more of a prominent feature, though, rather than, having penguins throw snowballs to each other, although Club Penguin did keep the throwing snowballs feature here, as I'm doing very weird flicks like so, You can do this as a bit of an insult, or maybe make fun to each other, or have fun enjoying a bit of a snowball fight, I suppose, And as you walk around, as you pretty much waddle and walk around the the frozen virtual world, it really is amazing and how much you can do so much, So much stuff, though, more so than just throwing snowballs, really, But there is a bit of overall history, Club Penguin, it wasn't like that, though, But if you don't know what I'm talking about, I bet you've never ever seen before, This here is, of course, the very first version of Club Penguin. It's literally called Experimental Penguins. And that was actually like some sort of beta testing there, and the penguins were like a bit of a, how would you say it? They all look quite different, though. It almost felt like something out of Super Mario 64. Not the penguins from Super Mario 64, really, though, but those penguins were rendered in some sort of 32-bit graphic design, and strangely enough, that was the sort of design that I actually I was actually quite interested though, but it's not as great as the Penguin Chat 3 Penguin though. In a sense, the Penguin Chat 3 Penguin was often used. In fact, it is actually the same penguin used for Club Penguin though. It's just the fact it's a bit of a different shade of blue. And what was actually amazing about Club Penguin was that you can actually customize your favourite penguin there. You can customize it in any colour overall, and it's so amazing to see the huge varieties of colours that you can obtain for your penguin there, really, which is actually quite amazing indeed. How about that? And actually, if I go back to Experimental Penguins, and also Penguin Chat 3, you would have also selected 3 different worlds. So there was like a blank looking piece of snow. There was one that had like, some sort of candy cane structure thing, and there was like a vehicle crash site though. And then obviously there was a one where you could also walk from here though to, in fact, I think in Penguin Chat 3 they used to have some sort of igloo there where you had penguins playing a bit of music there. I can't show you gameplay that there, because gameplay is something that I would have never thought I'm playing with there, but I will try and do some gameplay videos though in the future though, if I have some time though. In a sense, it's going to be quite a bit of an arduous task though, and a bit convoluted though, but I'm sure we will get over it though. Or should I say, I'll get with it though, But what was actually quite a bit different to Experimental Penguins and the Penguin Chat 3 comparing to the original Club Penguin game was that you could also actually play as a penguin, but you actually didn't need to sign in though. In a sense, you can literally just simply type in your name, and then you can just simply waddle with other penguin friends, and then you can just pretty much interact with each other though, in a much more simplistic, way and manner though, I suppose, eh? Quite interesting though, as the sunshine is actually coming closer towards me though, whenever I think of Club Penguin, and after the death of it though, which in a sense that whenever I think of, Disney taking it down, what people can really remember is of course that one single dance. Well, that's all I can think of really, though. Club Penguin being an internet meme, though. Ever since the game has died out, though, taken out by Disney, though, as sad as it sounds, though. But you know what? I think that's it, really, though, for Club Penguin, eh? I don't need to get into the full depths of it, though, but that's all I can remember, eh?
Subject 2. Upcoming flip-flop toy themes.
Ah, yes. I'm back already now, eh? Back in a very different outfit already. I've got a very cool sort of flame-like outfit there, eh? And it's in the theme of Excalibur. I'm not sure if it's a real game. I heard of Soul Calibur before, eh? But, yes, we're going to be talking about some of the more upcoming flip-flop toy themes. And as the year is coming to an end, and as we say goodbye to 2021 and say hello and Happy New Year to 2022, I've actually got a lot of themes coming up there, eh? But before we can talk about 2022, we might as well go ahead and take a look at 2021. Remember I did the Penguin Club World themed toys, the Halloween themed toys that I did in several videos back then, eh? I've only got about 2 more Halloween themed products and then I'm done, which overall is going to be quite amazing, eh? I suppose. But yeah, overall the Penguin Club World themed toys have been amazing, and what I'm actually going to be doing is that hopefully as we head towards like next year I might be able to make some more of those Penguin Club World themed toys, I suppose, like that. And there are also other themes here as well though, but before we can get into that, it's going to be quite amazing indeed. Just to wait for a while though before, I'll be, as I said earlier, I'll be making only just 2 Halloween themed toys, and then I'll move on to something else though. But there's actually quite a lot of other toys I've been making. There's actually quite a lot of seagull themed toys which look like that, really, eh? Obviously, it looks quite nice, obviously. Those seagull themed toys. The most asked for of all of that toys, I think that we've been waiting for. There's a bit of goldfish themed toys. I might cover these 3 in another video, I suppose, eh? I think the most overrated of all the themes of that toys though for 2021 is, apart from the Penguin Club World themed toys and the Vietnam 2021 toys, and also the the 2 remaining Halloween toys, and I don't know if I can create any Diwali themed toys though, but I think the most overrated one I think we've been waiting for is Christmas 2021, and I think we have to wait for a while though until after I've done with Halloween, Diwali, and then, I can get into the Christmas stuff. Very interesting indeed, and strange enough, there's so much business going on here, for my company. And the funny thing is, that is with, Flip-Up Toys being this sort of beautiful company, who produces, like, I'm the person who actually, who actually has created this company though, and has basically formulated all by itself though. It's quite an amazing company whenever I think of the term Flip-Flap, eh? Strangely enough, I'm just almost feeling like I'm gonna be spinning on his chair, but I'm definitely not going to be doing it, eh? But yes, obviously, I've still got these toys to be reviewed, okay, and that one there as well. But yes, obviously I still have some time to wait for the Christmas 2021 themed toys, and I think there's also some other toys that I'm also waiting for in 2022. I might look forward to maybe the New Year, and also like, you know, the Spring Chinese New Year Festival Day. Yes, Chinese New Year Festival is also not like another sort of festival I might look forward to, eh? The Year of the Tiger. And then you've also got like Valentine's Day, and then you've also got like Easter as well. And Easter 2022. I don't know if I'm going to be making like Easter 2022 themed products though. Definitely 4th of July, because I don't think I've made any 4th of July products this year though, eh? Maybe it's because of the fact that the British weather has been absolutely rubbish. But yeah, 2021, man, what a year. It has been completely and utterly tough. And strangely enough, it has been completely and utterly arduous, as you can think of it, eh? And the other toy that I'm also doing at the moment though is, what I might do is I might make some sort of, you know, transporter truck thing. Like I can have like a little box, like a big box with it, and I can sort of, you know, store vehicles inside. I could create like you know, a racing car sort of truck hauler thing, where you can store your toy cars inside out and sort of launch them from the back of the box here. Obviously it's a rigid truck. I don't know about you though, but there's been loads and loads of toys which have been heavily delayed. It's obviously because of the Vietnam 2021 theme, and also the Penguin Clubboard theme, also Halloween, Diwali, and Christmas, and all the other stuff. And it's strange, I'm still waiting for those themes to be released. And with that, this will help the Flip-Flap toy to get even better and better and better. Overall though, as time progresses though, I should have done that there and not that way though, because that's the past and that is the present and the future, obviously, eh? And obviously I have to say, Generation 125, it actually is performing very nicely there. I can't believe it though. I mean the Vietnam 2021 stuff, sadly they've been overshadowed by the Penguin Clubboard themed toys. But I now start to understand why these toys are so heavily selling like hotcakes, in the sense that in the country where I reside though, I have to say, these items are just pretty much, well, they're pretty much selling fast though. And it's like if they were vanishing off the shelves though, but they're still here actually though, eh? But yeah, it's quite amazing thinking about Flip-Flap getting the amount of toys ready and done there, and a lot of themes are ready as well, eh? And luckily enough, Halloween 2021 is there to go first, and let's just hope we don't get a 2022 event like that one, eh? Because, well, YouTube tends to be quite sensitive to Halloween topics though these days, eh? But nevertheless, I think that's it for that second subject, and let's move on to the final subject in this video. And actually, just before I should start the third subject, I've actually noticed there's actually quite a few non-seasonal themed toys. I've actually thought of re-releasing some toys I used to have in the past. I was also sort of thinking of doing these by turning them into little characters. It's going to be a little bit like Mighty Beans, but you can sort of, I'm going to call them rollers because they sort of roll down through the ground and stuff like that. In fact, I might make a similar toy like that, a bit like Mighty Beans, with that single component there. And I might also bring back Flip-Flap planes, because obviously I used to have a huge obsession of airplanes and aircraft and whatnot, eh? And I'll try and make some airplanes from next year, eh? How about that? Try and make some models of aircraft as well. That is supremely amazing, eh? That is so cool. I'm actually looking forward to make some paper airplanes. You know, the ones that sort of, whenever you throw them up in the sky, sort of annoys teachers, doesn't it, eh? Indeed it does. But there's also like paper airplanes, which are not like those ones. You can sort of throw them like that, but they're the type of paper airplanes. They're quite modular, but you have to sort of glue them together, and you make like a T-pose sort of wing design, and you add like turbines or propellers or jet engines on either from the wings or right behind, obviously, right behind the tail stabilizer thingamajig that you find in the, the regional jet planes there, I suppose, But yeah, actually, some of them, I suppose, and wow, flip-flap rollers and flip-flap planes. That's another good toy range I can start for next year, I suppose, Re-releasing them, more like.
And finally, Subject 3!
The cheap, nasty stuff. And what do I see inside? Do I see any licensing tag? All I see is that there. What does that say, guys? Are you surprised?
Made in China!
I think that's one of those moments that when China sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. Now, I definitely say there's so many items here that are pretty much made in China, and in fact, 9 times out of 10, anything that you purchase will be something that is made in China. Obviously, particularly with the man-made stuff. And if I grab one of those toys, as a bit of a classic example though, this is Trackmaster Luke, obviously. Can you see the reading here? Made in China. I possibly sound like a broken record, but mind you, he still works. I'm not sure about you, but he also sort of runs well as well, I mean, I can't say anything bad about this toy though, but I have to say that whenever I look at toys like this is a legitimate toy though, whenever I think about, in the way and how toys are made in a very nice fashion. I mean, the motor is also nice. It's also got, whenever I think about this toy, it's brilliant. It's very well made. Very robust as well though, and it stood the test of time though. I have to say it's actually quite a nice looking toy though. Not so much wear and tear though, but it is quite a nice looking model, as you can tell straightforward, But as it's a made in China sort of item though, I have to say that whenever I think about it, just because a toy which is literally made out of China doesn't exactly mean it's pretty much cheap. Now, there's also another item here. If I put Trackmaster Luke, obviously, back away though, is a piece of Trackmaster track. Obviously, if I show it to you here, what does that say, guys? Are you surprised? Or are you not? Well, I have to say, guess what? We aren't surprised about that. Obviously, the term made in China has become super phenomenal though, and it's like one of those terminologies though, that whenever stuff which is made in China, obviously, I don't know about you, but the economy in China is actually soaring and is spiking so high though. Not sure if you can see that, but it does say it actually does say made in China on that piece of Trackmaster track, whenever I think about this sort of design. And that really does shout out to me that whenever I start to think of, made in China stuff, it can give you a bit of a bad sort of habit though, because of the effects of other countries' economies though. And same with those headphones here as well though, and whenever I wear them, it's actually quite good in quality though, Obviously. And it's, not too bad by the looks of it, And it's quite nice. It's got everything inside of it. It's got a nice looking noise blocker here as well, just to reduce background noise, which in a sense it's a very nice thing. In a sense that whenever I think of stuff made in China, obviously it's not always the case of being, so bad, in the sense that, I mean, whenever I think of stuff which is made in China, it's not always the case of, being so low quality, in the sense that, the term made in China is it's pretty much always has been a pejorative. And obviously, it's like a stereotypical connotation there that people sort of get angry about, the reason why people sort of get angry about made in China stuff is because of the lackluster quality there, but no, not all of it is pretty much bad in China though. And it's one of the cardinal sins to many people though. Whenever you think about stuff made in China, some of that, you know, whenever I think of, you know, 50, if I can pretty much say this. Now, if I was going to expect like a Dyson vacuum cleaner on the side of the road, I can easily find like 50 cheap and nasty vacuum cleaners from Aldi, and it's completely bonkers whenever I think of it, eh? And it's crazy, isn't it, eh? And I have to say that even with today's decade, 2020, and into 2021, as it's been quite a tough year, it's been obvious that whenever I think about the slow boat made from China, or actually more like the slow boat with stuff made in China, or the slow boat from China stops coming to Britain, it really starts to paint a bit of a dark picture as well, though, because obviously, while China has got one of the, it has got one of the fastest growing economies in the whole world, though. Whenever I think about it, eh, it's crazy, isn't it, eh? It's so different, and how crazy times have pretty much changed people's lives, though. And I have to say, as of 2020, the supply chain is busted, and whenever you think about it, though, well, I have to say that this is going to become one of those moments where, you know, it's going to be quite difficult for us people to live in a very, very comfortable sort of manner there because of the virus. And not only that, but with the virus times, it really is quite a bunch of shambles, really, though. In fact, I should do a jump cut there before I should actually start talking about Made in China. And one of the biggest cardinal sins of retailing, as I said it again now, and as I can say this again, obviously about shopping, you know, whenever you go ahead outside to do some shopping now, obviously, as I said before, 9 times out of 10, all the stuff will be made in China, and it's crazy, isn't it, though? I mean, it's not surprising now, and I possibly sound like a broken record. I mean, how would you feel if you would have bought something from China, and then if that item lasted for 1 or 2 years, or maybe a good 2 to 3 years, though? How would you feel, though? To be honest, I'm really going to feel like I'm not really impressed, though. In fact, I have to say, it's one of those moments that when people buy stuff like that, they'll be pretty much rushing out through the door, though. And obviously, people buy stuff made in China because it's really, really cheap, and it's one of those big, I'll just say, one of these big, mundane moments, though, that, yes, it's pretty much common to just have cheap stuff made in China, all over, not only in this country, though, but also countries other than China. It's crazy seeing on how the economy has been growing for quite a while, though, and it really is crazy whenever you think about it, really, eh? Definitely, indeed. And the other factor is that, I don't know about you, but the whole Made in China thing, I think it was the 90s era, possibly like the late 90s. All of it has started, though, and when that started, stuff just kept on, you know, it actually kept on, you know, getting, you know, thrown out onto the side of the road, obviously because they're made in China, and what that does is that it lets you sort of blow your dough, in a sense that whenever you buy stuff from China, it burns your money as well, though, and it also makes China greater. I think we need to learn a very simple lesson from that. I mean, why can't we just pretty much get stuff which is, you know, made, you know, from countries which are other than China, though? I mean, it would have been better like that. I mean, why would we pretty much start to whinge about stuff, you know, and also faffle and hark about, you know, stuff which is made in China and is designed with a whole bunch of wham bam thank you no mentary. It really is gonna be one of those things where China's gonna be right on top of the tree of all of the economy. In fact, of all of the world, you know, I don't know what I'm saying here, but of all the nations, though, that has done super well, and I mean China's economy just never stops growing, though. It's literally, it's just still going now, and I'm totally not surprised about it, though. Yet I'm also surprised in how the economy has been doing so well. And as we keep on pumping out and just keep on throwing all the Chinese made goods, though, onto the side of the road, it pumps so well for the Chinese economy, though, as it keeps on growing, though, as they pump on and on and on. And that's one of the biggest cardinal sins of retailing. And I don't know why I'm using that same phrase all over again. Cardinal sins. And then once again I said it 4 times though. But you know what? Made in China stuff, not really surprising indeed to hear about it too. Often you find it somewhere in the, like, you know, other than legitimate retailers where people start to get angry about it though because they shouldn't be there. Some of them can be a real choking hazard, and some of them have got a very shoddy build. In fact, you can also find them in car boot sales, flea markets, maybe like cheapo shops I suppose, and whatever retailer you go to, there you find are knockoff toys. And how do you feel you see a knockoff toy or anything which is like, you know, a bootleg or a counterfeit sort of item though? I'll be completely ticked. You know, obviously whenever I think of, you know, bootleg toys, I bet people are just going to be, you know, losing their temper there. And that's one of the biggest problems there whenever I think about, you know, knockoff stuff being sold in legitimate shops though. Quite often whenever I go to like local shops across Birmingham, all I see is legitimate stuff, but I also have a few or some knockoff stuff in it, and that's very sinister to do. And overall, I can see the real dark picture that's literally in it though, and it's completely and utterly shocking and unsurprising at times though, because, well, stuff made in China is just too mundane really, One other peculiar cardinal sin I've actually found in terms of retailing though is that whenever you have no more stuff which is made in China though, that really is a big problem though, because back then in spring of 2020 and also about, you know, sometime around, I think it was January to March of 2021 and also November, I believe there was some sort of lockdown. Of course we had 3 lockdowns that this country has been enduring though over the last, I'll just say it, the last months or so, and also last year as well, because, well, thanks to COVID-19, and 2020 was often, you know, often defined as the ultimate annus horribilis, ever since, like, you know, the other diseases that have struck humanity, though, and has destroyed humanity a bit, though, but, yes, as we all know, back then, though, we used to have a very, very, very poor supply chain in the sense that the stores couldn't have any time though. They didn't have that much of replenishing now because obviously the slow boat from China stopped coming to Britain now. As I said it twice though, and strangely enough, it was one of those comatose states that we all tend to see though, and it was completely and utterly strange though. Seeing that though is a bit of a very weird mirage and a very weird, I'll just say it, side compared to what normal times would normally feel like though. And as I can think about 2020, what we have so far though was that, yes, thanks to those hungry shoppers though, those very hungry hoarders though, in the supermarket chains, I have to say it is completely and utterly outrageous thinking about it though, because obviously those people were pretty much going into headless chicken mode. They're pretty much not only for toilet paper though, they were going through other, you know, they were actually going through other stuff though that was sold in the stores. And there you go, whammo, the empty peg syndrome, also the empty shelf syndrome though. That's pretty much has gone. In fact, it has actually gone quite worse and worse and worse. And whenever you think about it though, the shops didn't have that much time to replenish. In fact, that was quite a very dark time, wasn't it though, Very, very sinister, wasn't it, for those hungry shoppers. And maybe I could also say, I could pretty much say, you know, in relationship to 2020, and also whenever I think about the rubbish piles and how people sort of throw out stuff though, and especially those which are like, you know, those which are made in China, which lasted for about 1 or 2 years, in relationship to stuff made in China, yes, I can easily relate to the fact that whenever people throw away stuff, they're being very cautious on what they're actually throwing out though, these days though. And I can tell you what though, it really is one of those massive situations though, that is still ongoing, but it's there to be solved for some time in the future. And it's still going to this point now. As China has been manufacturing goods for a very long time, or a fairly long time, it's very worthy to note that China has been a major importer of various countries around the world, especially the UK and where I live. And obviously, I have to say that whenever I think about it, without that sort of power, or without that sort of help, we are in a stack of trouble, thanks to us being hungry hoarders and hungry hoarding shoppers. In a sense that, whenever I think about it, it's completely and utterly, how do you say it, absurd whenever I think about the way 2020 has been now, and it really is quite a very, very melancholy feel whenever I think about these sort of pictures like that. It looks quite grim whenever I think about it, And maybe we've learnt our lesson here. Maybe having a high, I'm actually sort of going to say this though, really though, that having a high dependency on Chinese-made items is of course a very dangerous business. And maybe that's all I can relate to throughout the rest of this video. In fact, maybe I should make videos about made in China stuff and how it can easily go wrong at any certain time though. And as I can think about the rubbish piles and the curbside cleanup on the side of the road, it really does speak volumes on what people actually throw out though. And whenever I think of it though, it's a little bit like a temperature gauge of society though. And whenever I think of the many items being thrown out, because if they were actually made in China though, or they just think they don't want it anymore though, for various certain reasons though, it really does start to pretty much paint two sides, two different paintings on which one's the good side and which one's the bad side though. Obviously, this really does make me think, wow, whenever I think of seeing things on the side of the road, I can pretty much see anything but China. And if we foreigners can't learn from a simple fact of life though, from those very valuable lessons that we have been using for quite a while though, well yes, we are in a stack of trouble, landing in hot water though. But yes, I can tell you what though guys, I have to say that really is what it is. Actually, I might also bring back Trackmaster Luke, obviously with toys for that matter, this really is, I don't know what I'm saying here, but it really is what it is though. Whenever I think of toys made in China though, particularly connecting with a particular franchise or a cartoon or whatever you're going to be referring to, or a certain character or a certain thing that is from a certain brand or a certain franchise that they really love in life or really like in life, that really does define the point that whenever you find stuff like that, it really is also the main thing that would also be whenever you see, batches of these types of toys like that, it's saying to you it's quite popular though. Then again, well, with toys, well, that's the secret of to those hungry hoarders there. And I'm sort of thinking that, yes, as I said earlier before, if we can't learn certain value lessons or very valuable lessons, well, once again, we're going to be in another whole stack in trouble. And that's pretty much one of the secrets and the real dangers when it comes into shopping in 2020. And yes, a lot of the stuff so far though, if I put my headphones back on, obviously because I'm quite sensitive to other noises I suppose, but yes, so far though in 2020, a lot of people have been hoarding out for those non-essential items. And yes, I have to say, this was pretty much the time that was just before, and how, as I'm saying here, that was just before when stuff was only banned. Stuff like this was pretty much banned though until the restrictions were lifted though, and so on. Amazing on how strange the world has changed so far though, especially whenever I think of stuff made in China. In fact, I should actually give you a bit of a very interesting but also very clever example. How does this cycle work? I'm pretty sure you guys may know this. Well, people throw out stuff made in China onto the side of the road, where it's like some sort of curbside cleanup, and with that being said, it makes China greater. There you go. That's the real answer onto how much nothingness but China literally works. Are you surprised? Don't think I really am that surprised, In fact, I should actually just stop spinning with my arm, That's better. But mind you, no one's even going to listen now. It seems like nobody will even listen into how much advice on how to spot the differences between good china versus bad china. And it's really, in fact, quite a very difficult task that I feel like I'll be able to use. In fact, maybe you guys will have the same answer as well. In fact, we people tend to be quite lazy though, but yeah, no matter how lazy we can be, that's how society works. You start off lazy, then you make up society, then you make up a cycle. That's how society works. Maybe it's just me, but you know what? I think that's about it in this whole video that I've just made, as I've talked about Club Penguin, the upcoming Flip Up toy themes, and also the syndrome, which is all about made in China. And I have to say, whenever we think about, you know, a lot of the stuff which is made in China, that's when we all tend to feel, you know, quite poor for it. But anyways, I think that's about it in this video, eh? Please give this video a great like. I'm very sorry for taking so long though, but you know what? It's been quite actually it was a little difficult though, but it was actually quite simple to pretty much go through, you know, it was quite easy to go through these 3 subjects quite well. And please do subscribe onto my YouTube channel if you can though. It's up to you though. If you really don't want to, that's fine. Okay? But anyways, if you really have, if you really enjoyed it so far though, as always, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now in this very long video. And again, bye bye.